What's up, everybody? Josh here with Josh's Lawn and Landscape. Just out in the yard this morning, but check it out. It's green in there. It's growing. Gotta get going. So, just wanted to do a little quick intro here and say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for taking the time to watch. And I'm going to discuss a few things in this video. I've got to do maybe some stuff in the shop today, and a few other things. So. Who knows what this one will turn into, but better stick around. Be right back. All right, y'all, welcome back. A little quick intro there. So told you gonna be some stuff going on. As you can see, I'm in the shop, and the reason why is I've been cleaning up. Still got the old M there, but still got a few things to do in here. But cleaned a bunch of stuff out and reorganizing some stuff. So there's still a lot to do in here, but yeah, definitely making some changes here in the shop. And should I go ahead? Well, why not? There's actually going to be another change coming for me for this season. I say a lot of thought went into it, still a lot of thought going on about it. So y'all can probably take a couple of good guesses about what it's going to be as far as what's going to happen. So, yeah, still got my gloves on. I was actually actually had to fix a leak in my mother-in-law's car. So, one of the reasons that I've been working on cleaning the shop up is that is one of the last things my father-in-law and I discussed about getting the shop kind of cleaned up and reorganized. So it's going to be a chore. There's still a whole lot of stuff around, like you can see here along the back wall, stuff all along the table. And there's a bunch of stuff over here, old gas cans and stuff. So some of that will get tossed. Some of it will just kind of get reorganized. Maybe maybe build a shelf or something in the corner somewhere to put stuff. Make some hangers. So, but that'll be a kind of an ongoing thing this year. Got a right good bit done already. Of course, you know, season hasn't started. So, but yeah. So I had another interesting thing happened the other day. This video is just going to kind of be dancing around, y'all, so I'm sorry. One of the customers that I've had for the last 2 years, 2 years ago, I was actually doing 2 properties for them. They had their house and they had a rental property next door. And this past year, they rented it out, and the renters were responsible for the yard. So didn't hear anything from them this past year, so didn't have that property. And the residents, I spoke with all of my customers at the end of last year about price increases for this season. And so a few weeks back, I was finalizing all of that, mainly getting a late start on that, mainly because of everything else that went on from the end of last year till now, or that's been going on. So some of y'all know about all of that. With new baby, my father-in-law passed away, had just a lot of big changes. So things were getting handled and dealing with stuff primarily around here, and the business or side of things just kind of got pushed aside. There were some communications along the way, but not much. So, but to the point of my story is, I contacted that customer and gave them the new price. He stated that he would speak with his wife about it and let me know. So I was like, that's fine, I understand, no problem. And while I was talking to him, he was actually at his mom's house and actually do her yard. And I've got her locked in for this year. And so that one worked out. But he called me. called him back a couple of days later because I hadn't heard anything yet, and he's a fairly busy guy, and just said, hey, I'm just touching base, trying to get everybody lined up for schedule, everything of that nature. And I just wanted to know if we were going to continue to move forward with service. Just send me a text, give me a call, let me know, and yeah, thank you. So I got a text back, I think the day after I left the voicemail, and he said that he had spoke with his wife and that they were going to maintain the yard this year, and they had some other stuff they were going to do with treating some of the weeds and stuff in the yard. That stuff was never really brought up to me, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, but he said, he was going to, him and his wife were going to maintain it, and that they would keep me in mind for later. And I said, well, thank you, sir. Okay, yes, sir, thank you very much. Basically is what I told him, so I didn't have to deal with that one. So the kind of funny part of the story coming on now is, y'all have heard me mention him before, and Randall, shout out to Randall over at AMI Lawn Care, out of the blue the very next day, it had been a little while since I had talked to Randall, actually, since probably towards the end of last year, and he sends me a text on Facebook Messenger, and I bring that up because the person renting that house was his son. And so he said, hey man, he said, I was wanting to know if you could give me a quote to mow my son's yard. And I said, yeah, just I'll get back with you shortly. I was actually at work when he messaged me, but so anyway, to make a long story short, I messaged him back, gave him a price. He talked with his son about it, and they agreed to it. So I actually picked up what was the rental property for the people that I just lost their yard. So it's funny that I've got the gentleman's mom's yard and the rental property that they control next door, but I don't have theirs. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But thankful for it. Hey, I've had a number of my other customers that have already contacted me back. I'll be in touch with kind of some of the last ones this week because everything's really greening up. I've got some landscape work and stuff coming up. So, but I've been, I don't know if a lot of you recall, if you watched the channel, I sold my Z920M. So it was a 54-inch deck. I had that mower for actually about 8 years, and excellent machine. It was a tank. It had been a very low maintenance mower the whole time I had it. I think I had almost 1,700 hours on it. I had only replaced the PTO clutch once. I had recently put a deck on it. I got a number of videos on that, and still running original engine, original fuel pump on that engine, which I thought was kind of crazy. Most small engines, I mean, that's 1,700 hours on one of those little fuel pumps is pretty good in my book. So the mower itself, like I said, was still running good, but I was kind of in the mindset of at some point I needed to look into possibly getting a bigger mower, a 60 or 61 inch cut, because the SCAG's a 52, which gives me the accessibility and maneuverability with that on the V-Ride. And so that was my primary mower. The Deere was primarily when my father-in-law had previously helped me before, and my brother-in-law sometimes come and help. And so that was kind of the backup mower, or had become the backup mower. Like if I'm out by myself, I would have both machines, but I would primarily run the SCAG. So anyway, so a guy, it was on Facebook for a number of months. I had a handful of offers, and so finally one guy, I think I dropped the price once, once or twice. It was on there for a couple of months. Anyway, the guy messaged me and he asked me what the lowest I would take cash money was. I gave him a price and he came and picked it up. I think he called me on a Friday, and I think it was Friday or Thursday. And anyway, on the Saturday, he came to the house and looked at the mower, drove it around the yard. I had some extra parts and stuff like the old deck. I still had it. Needed some repair work and a few other things. So he loaded it all up. He handed me the cash money for it. And I said goodbye to Uncle John, as I've called it in a couple of videos before. So I've been looking at a number of mowers. I've looked at some other stand-ups and some sit-down mowers. So I've looked at two bad boys, a John Deere, a Wright. So what I was looking at was a John Deere Z960M 60-inch deck with the 31 horsepower carbureted Kawasaki engine. I've looked at the bad boy Rebel with the 31 horse fuel injected Kawasaki. It's one of the Evo engines. And also the FX1000, the 35 horse carbureted. And I also looked at that's a 61 inch cut. And I also looked at the bad boy Rogue with the 61 inch deck and the FX1000 Kawasaki, which is one I've actually demoed a few years back. And then I looked at Wright ZK, which is a 61 inch deck. It came with the FX850 Kawasaki or the 37 horse Vanguard, which was kind of a up in the air thing for me. I know some people love them. I'm a Kawasaki guy, and I was really looking for something with the horsepower. I know the FX850 is a stout motor, time tested, still out there. So that one was in consideration. Again, 61 inch deck. I actually looked at a Toro Grandstand 60 inch cut that had an FX1000 the Kawasaki engine on it, carbureted, which I didn't know until recently that they actually put that engine on those mowers. I know they used to put the FX921 on the 4000 series sit down, the HDX or whatever, Toro sit downs. And so that's kind of a number of the machines that I looked at. Some of the other mowers just didn't have great support. I also did look at a SCAG Cheetah 2 with the 1000 EFI Kawasaki. It comes with the 38.5 horse. But yeah, the price tag kind of turned me away from that one. So that's the number of the machines that I've looked at. And y'all let me know of that list, what y'all's thoughts are on those different machines. So any one in particular, across the board, what do you think about them? And so as y'all know, the biggest reason for me switching up to something with more horsepower is just my lawns. A lot of them are bi-weeklies, and they have a lot of Bahia in them. So from right around the end of May to basically almost the end of August, 1st of September, until it starts to start cooling off, that stuff is tough, y'all. And so the Z920 and the SCAG have always, sorry, I got gnats flying around. I guess I need to take a bath. I don't know. They've always gotten it done, but there's just been moments where I think having that added horsepower would greatly increase productivity as far as being able to push through some of that thicker grass, and then also having the wider cut in some of the properties that I have and have open areas is going to save me some time. So that's kind of the stuff I'm looking at. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts. Do I go back with the deer? Try Bad Boy again. Y'all know what happened with the revolt that I had, and I will say I know Doc over at DLT. Shout out to him. He just picked up a new Bad Boy revolt and sweet looking machine, 54-inch cut with the FX 850 on it, and I think he's going to love it. So I said in my video when I was talking about the problems I have with mine that I think I just happened to get a bad one. So that was kind of my year last year. So all this dealings with the Quick Track, and then going with the Bad Boy, and just a whole slew of other things. So that was just kind of, I guess, my year to catch it last year. So I guess I need to take all the opportunities I can this year, because this year should be awesome. At least I hope it is. Yeah, that's just kind of joking around there. It was, despite everything, it still was a good overall year for my business side of things. And I've got a number of other projects in the works. So I got a deck project for my brother-in-law, so I may wind up doing like Mr. Gerald. Shout out to Mr. Gerald over at Clean and Green. You know, he does fence work and everything now, so maybe he's wearing off on me. I'm going to get into like the carpentry business on the side or something. But my brother-in-law wants the back deck redone, so I'm getting some quotes together for him on that. And I've got some pruning and pine straw jobs. I didn't get a video of it. I just did a pruning job not too long ago. Pretty straightforward. They just wanted just kind of some overgrown bushes. They just wanted them taken back kind of to not a full stump cut down to the ground, but some older holly bushes, very well established. But they just kind of wanted them taken way down, and they're just going to let them kind of rejuvenate and fill back out. I don't think they'll have any problem with that. These things are very well established and taken care of as far as from fertilizing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think they'll bounce back just fine. I've done it a couple times before. Just because you can only prune so much off of them before you start getting really spindly looking. You can see all the inner branches and stuff, just because they were let go, and once they grow so big, the sunlight can only penetrate so far, so you can only prune so much off of them before you kind of either have to let them be bigger or take them way down. So a lot of stuff going on. Like I say, shop being cleaned up here, trying to make a decision on another machine for all my properties and stuff to kind of help me, and so and maintain maneuverability and stuff. I do have the 60-inch deck for the 1025, but as far as the maneuverability and things of it, it's just a whole nother ball game. And to try to haul something around like that I'm probably not going to use as much as the SCAG, even in the bigger areas when I have it, just because I like the zero turn capabilities. So looking at, like I say, another zero turn for the larger open areas that I got. That's a lot of the ones I listed as what I've looked for. So, but before I roll on too long, I've covered a lot in this video. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on the machines that I had listed. Those are the ones primarily, I will say, SCAG, Bad Boy, and Deere have the best service in the area. The Toro is a reasonably close dealer, but it's only one right now. Whereas John Deere has three, Bad Boy and SCAG each have two, and so John Deere, SCAG, and Bad Boy have the best accessibility to service for me. So, and Wright is kind of moved into the area. There's two dealers for it, but one of those dealers is a little bit further out to go to. So there's two, but one of them is, like I said, just a little bit further out as compared to what I have with some of the other brands. So, but again, I know Wright has a good reputation. So, been a lot to think about. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts. This thing's got to be getting on probably close to 20 minutes now, if I had to guess. I need to get my selfie stick back because my arm's starting to go numb from holding my phone. So I hope everybody is doing great. Again, shout out to those guys. Randall over at AMI, Doc over at DLT, Mr. Gerald over at Clean and Green. I got to finish watching the video for Chris over at Chop and Blaze. Shout out to Chris. Man, I started watching your video last night and I fell asleep, but it wasn't because of you. I was just a little tired. So y'all check his channel out as well. And Ian, that's Chop and Blades. Good to see Chris back on here. And as always, I got to shout out Ronaldo over at Big Sun's Lawn Care. And then as well, I want to give a shout out to Ray over at Ray's Lawn and Landscape. Y'all know Ray's out there doing his thing. And Randall out at Elite Landscapes Life Stories. They're always killing it out there. So just a few, some of the regulars and one or two that I haven't shouted out in a while. So thank y'all. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on the mower situation. And maybe if y'all dealt with anything like I dealt with that customer and picking up the rental property next door and stuff. So just y'all's general thoughts on what I talked about in this video, because I know it was just me talking. So thank y'all. I appreciate all the support for the channel. If you haven't yet had the opportunity, if you're a new subscriber, hit that, or new viewer, excuse me, hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Check out some of my other videos. And as always, just want to say, y'all be safe, be kind, be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.